Alexander checked his credit chip one last time before approaching the neon-lit establishment on Station Theta 7. The mining job had paid well, and after 6 months in the asteroid belt, he deserved one night of companionship before heading back to Earth. The sign above the door flickered in 3 languages: exotic encounters, all species welcome. Inside, the air shimmered with pheromone filters and soft music. 2 figures approached him from the shadows. They were Zelnari, a species he'd only seen in Holovitz. Their skin had an opalescent quality, shifting between blues and purples, and their large eyes held an almost hypnotic depth. "Human," the taller one said, her voice like wind chimes. "I am Shirare. This is my sister, Kelvier. You seek company." Alexander nodded, suddenly feeling out of his depth. "Just for tonight. I can pay the standard rate." Kelvier tilted her head, her expression curious. "Standard rate? Yes. Come." The room they led him to was surprisingly comfortable, more like a luxury apartment than what he'd expected. Soft cushions, ambient lighting that adjusted to a warm glow, and a viewport showing the spectacular nebula beyond the station. "Sit," Shirare commanded gently. "You are tense. We will help you relax." What followed wasn't what Alexander had anticipated. Instead of the transactional encounter he'd imagined, the sisters began asking him questions. About Earth, about his family, about why he'd come so far from home. "My sister Anna," Alexander found himself saying, surprised at his own openness. "She's sick. Needs treatment Earth's public health system won't cover. So I work the belt. Send money home." The sisters exchanged glances, something passing between them in their own language. Kelvier moved closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. The touch sent a wave of warmth through him, not sexual, but comforting, like coming home after a long journey. "You sacrifice much," she said softly. "This is admirable." They talked through the night. Alexander shared stories of Earth, oceans and forests, things the station-born sisters had never seen. They told him of their homeworld, destroyed in a war centuries ago, and how their people had scattered across the galaxy, surviving however they could. When morning came, or what passed for morning on a station that never truly slept, Alexander prepared to leave. He transferred the credits, but Shirare refused them. "No," she said firmly. "We cannot accept this." "But our agreement was changed the moment we heard your story," Kelvier interrupted. "Alexander, what we do here, it is survival. But last night was different. You treated us as people. Listened. Shared. That is rare." Alexander felt uncomfortable. "Look, I don't want charity. I paid for a service, and we are offering something else," Shirare said. "Stay? Not as a client. As a friend. Just a few more days." Something in her tone made him pause. "Why?" The sisters looked at each other again. Finally, Kelvier spoke. "Because in 3 days, we have an opportunity to leave this place. To join a human-led expedition into the Andromeda Relay. But they require sponsors, humans who will vouch for us. We have saved for years, but we lack connections. You want me to sponsor you? We want you to consider it," Shirare said. "Stay? Get to know us. If you believe we are worthy, help us. If not, you walk away. Either way, the credits you offered are yours again." Alexander should have left. He had his own problems, his own sister to worry about. But something about these two, their quiet dignity, their hope, reminded him of Anna, of himself, of everyone trying to claw their way to something better. 3 days, he agreed. Those 3 days became a week. Then 2. Alexander learned that Shirare was a brilliant engineer, self-taught from station databases. Kelvier had a gift for xenobiology, understanding how different species' bodies worked in ways that put station doctors to shame. They learned that Alexander had a talent for negotiation, a silver tongue that came from growing up in Earth's crowded lower districts. When he went to the expedition's recruitment office, he didn't just vouch for the sisters. He convinced them they'd be fools to refuse. But more than that, he realized something. The Andromeda expedition paid 3 times what the asteroid belt offered, with medical benefits. Real ones. Anna could come too, Kelvier said quietly when he shared the information. "If you joined, they need human crew, and she could receive treatment during the journey." It was Shirare who added the final piece. "We have each other, Alexander. But we have come to care for you as well. Not as a client. As family. Humans have a saying, yes? No one left behind." Alexander looked at these two alien women who'd somehow become the most important people in his life besides his sister, who'd seen him at his most vulnerable and hadn't turned away, who'd offered him hope when he'd come looking for nothing more than temporary escape. "I need to make a call to Earth," he said finally. "Tell Anna to pack her bags. We're going to Andromeda." Kelvier's eyes shimmered with tears, a universal expression of joy. Sharare pulled him into an embrace, her warmth enveloping him. "Thank you," she whispered, "for seeing us, for choosing us." "No," Alexander replied, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for not letting me leave." 6 months later, the expedition ship, Humanity's Hope, departed Station Theta 7. Among its crew were an engineer and a xenobiologist from the Zalnari species, a human negotiator, and his sister who would recover fully during the journey. They weren't bound by contracts or credits, but by something stronger, the choice to build a family not from blood, but from mutual respect and love. That humanity's greatest strength had never been its technology or its weapons. It was its ability to recognize worth in others, to extend hands across the void, and to say, "You're one of us now. Welcome home."